Columbus, Ohio. Take out a piece of paper and jot down a few names. Emory Jones, Jackson Carman, Jaden Woodby. Now crinkle it up and throw it in the trash. There is no sense spending any more time thinking about the targets who slipped away from Ohio State when there were so many elite players who officially signed on Wednesday. Did it sting when Carman spurned the Buckeyes in favor of Clemson, letting slip a bit of negative recruiting against Urban Meyer in the process? Sure, because the staff spent a lot of time on the offensive tackle and that was a position of need. Was there shock when Woodby flipped his commitment at the last minute and pledged to Florida State? Without a doubt, because there was hardly any reason to believe the Seminoles were a viable threat with a player who had been linked to the Buckeyes for so long. The case with Jones is a little different, because the writing had been on the wall for some time. Ohio State had already scooped up Matthew Baldwin a couple weeks ago to ensure it had a quarterback it wanted in the class. But this should really be the last time we discuss those would-be Buckeyes. At the moment, Ohio State has slipped from the top spot in the class rankings, but since when is sitting at no. 2 in that kind of poll a problem? Meyer and his staff landed 12 of the top 130 recruits in the country according to the 247 Sports Composite, and every single one of them was deservedly celebrated in the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. That long list that Meyer held in his hand at the podium on Wednesday shouldn't be dismissed just because a couple other decisions didn't go Ohio State's way. And it's also doing a disservice to focus on those players instead of the signees who achieved their lifelong dreams and joined one of the most prestigious programs in the country. The Buckeyes addressed needs in key spots on the defensive line, secondary, linebacker and tight end with some of the most coveted prospects in the nation. They bolstered the offense with dynamic wide receivers and all-purpose backs, and once again landed a prolific passer from Texas, something that worked out pretty well a few years back with J.T. Barrett. And on top of that, the recruiting season isn't even over. Ohio State is moving on from the ones that got away and will set out next month with sights on a few new prospects with impressive credentials. This is the real stretch run, and Meyer has more than earned his reputation as a closer leading up to the traditional signing day. He can't afford to dwell on what has already happened. Anybody else hung up on those misses should do the same and turn the page, especially if it's coming at the expense of appreciating the hits.